Mr. Speaker, why I asked your permission was that instead of infusing all these answers to the different questions, so that I just don't need to explain the other issues, I decided to summarize it in an introduction, which I only remained with one page. Then when I go to his question, I'll just ask specific incidences without going back to the policy issues.
So you're saying,
I have only one page.
Your statement is a response to all the
policy issues across all the questions, Mr. Speaker. So and I have only one page to go,
just
and then I go to the specific questions. So, Mr. Speaker, where was I? So, yes, the minister has also accelerated. No, I was almost here. These modernization plans include the introductions of digital occurrence book systems, installation of CCTV cameras within and around police facilities, and the integration of data management systems to enhance transparency, accountability, and real-time coordination in police operations. Following the Jukwaa Usalama engagements, we have set in motion reforms in our institutions, particularly the National Police Reserves, Police Service. We have also developed a policy framework on transfers and promotions, ensuring that no police officer serves in the same station for more than 3 years to enhance accountability and professionalism. More reforms are underway, Mr. Speaker, touching on welfare, resource allocation, adequate fuel allocation, improved mobility, continuous capacity building, and modernization of police infrastructure. We are also at the advanced stage in the development of model police station in a bid to strengthen service delivery. In the same spirit, we have rolled out comprehensive reforms within the National Government Administration Office framework. An elaborate scheme of service has been developed to guarantee career progression, supported by structured training and retaining programs to enhance administrative competence and leadership in all levels. This year alone, we have trained 8,073 chiefs and assistant chiefs in induction, paralegal, and security management courses. Besides, 804 assistant county commissioners have been trained in and awarded diploma in public administration certificates. We have decentralized also various programs across the board. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the Jukwaa Usalama initiative has proven invaluable in identifying systemic challenges that had long hindered effective service delivery. By engaging directly with the officers and the public on the ground, we are solving problems that could never have been fully understood from boardrooms in Nairobi. So some of the far-reaching operational and policy changes arising out of the Jukwaa forums will need a support of Parliament, and I will be coming to you, dear Honourable Senators, for your consideration. With your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, now I beg to move to the detailed responses to the specific questions. The 26th. I think it was question number 26 from Honourable Boni Khalwale, Mr. Speaker. And to save time and considering the number of questions, I will not repeat the question itself. I'll just go straight to answering part A, which is the status of investigations into attack on Honourable Peter Salasha, MP at Harambe Buhaya Catholic Church in Mumias Town on 12 November 2023. Mr. Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Mumias East constituency, Honourable Peter Salasha, attended Harambe of Buhaya Catholic Church in Mumias Town on 12 November 2023. The event, organized by the Western Region Members of Parliament caucus, was presided over by the Right Honourable Speaker of National Assembly, Honourable Moses Masika Wetangula. However, Honourable Peter Salasha was attacked by a rival of a group of young men when he was invited to address the congregation, resulting in a fracas that led to his injuries. He reported the matter on at Mumias Police Station, where it was recorded in the occurrence book under entry number 23 of December 23/12/11/2023 at 2:25 p.m. He was advised to seek medical attention and complete a P3 form, a copy of which was provided to him. However, despite being invited by the investigating officer, the complainant, Honourable Peter Salasha, is yet to return to provide his statement to the police. As a result, the case remains pending under investigation due to complainant's failure to record his statement. On Part B, Mr. Speaker, status of investigations into violent altercations between rival groups at Bulimbo Primary School in Holera Ward on 2nd December 2023. Honorable Speaker, the funeral of the late Honorable Godliver Omondi, may she rest in peace. We served together in this house with Senator Boni Kalwale and Godliver. A nominated member of the County Assembly of Kakamega then was held on 2nd December 2023 at Bulimbo Primary School grounds. The event, attended by senior politicians, concluded peacefully at approximately 5:30 p.m. No incidents of violence or injuries reported or reports were made to the police in connection with the event. Part C, the status of investigation into altercation between Honorable FCPA Fernandez Baraza, OGW, Governor of Kakamega County, and Honorable Helsi Muhanda, Women Representative of Kakamega County, on 7th November 2024. Honorable Speaker, on 6th November 2024, Honorable Elsie Muhanda took to the podium to address mourners at a funeral in Imalamba, Eregi. However, her remarks reportedly provoked supporters of the Governor Barasa, leading to a commotion. A brief altercation ensued between the two groups, prompting police intervention, which swiftly restored order and prevented destruction of property. One individual who sustained minor facial injuries reported the incident, which was booked in 16/7/224 at Eregi Police Station. Despite police efforts, the injured individual declined to provide formal statement, and as such, the case remains pending under investigations. D, the status of investigations to violent altercations between rival groups in Matungu constituency on 8th of February 2025. Honorable Speaker, there was a violent altercation between rival groups at Matungu constituency on 8th of February 2025 during the burial of the late Chief Agostino Odongo, resulting in numerous injuries and insignificant damage to property. Mr. Felix Omutala, who was allegedly attacked by a group of 4 individuals, complained of assault, prompting the Director of Criminal Investigations officers from Mumias West to commence investigations. One suspect was arrested and arraigned in court under the file number 925/3025. The other 3 suspects were still tracked by the police for arrest and subsequent arraignment in court. Additionally, inquiry file number 01/2025 was opened at Kakamega County DCI headquarters regarding offenses committed during the burial. The file has been forwarded to ODPP for review and further action. In fact, Mr. Speaker, let me say this, that it was as a result of this funeral that I addressed the country on this behavior of using goons in public functions. And Mr. Speaker, the resolution we made in Kakamega during the Chikwala Usalama was that Western region, particularly Kakamega County, needed more attention of the DCI officers in apprehending and arresting these characters. Mr. Speaker, because of the efforts we put in place from February, that's the kind of incidences such as the one that happened in Matungu, Mr. Speaker, have come down in Kakamega generally, and particularly in Mumias area, where the public meetings have been impossible to contain because of the kind of violent mobilization that political leaders engage in. Mr. Speaker, this is an issue of great concern to us going to the elections, and the DCI and the National Police Service are prepared to deal very well or decisively on this issue, Mr. Speaker, and it is something that we are alive to and we continue to monitor. Disclosure of identities of financiers of violent acts and their legal status. Mr. Speaker, due to the sensitive nature of ongoing investigations, we are currently unable to disclose the names of the suspects to avoid jeopardizing the process. However, intelligence gathering so far has identified key financiers behind these violent acts, and investigation to uncover additional suspects have made significant progress. The government remains committed to ensuring that all individuals responsible, including financiers and orchestrators of violent incidences, are apprehended and held accountable in accordance with the law. Appropriate legal action will be taken against anyone found culpable once investigations reach a conclusive stage and legal threshold is met. We assure this House that no individual, regardless of their status, will be shielded from this process of justice. And as I said, Mr. Speaker, the file is before the ODPP and the processes are ongoing. Government measures to address rising violence of public functions. One is that, Mr. Speaker, the government acknowledged the increase in politically motivated violence at public gatherings, particularly in Western Kenya. To address the vice, and when I say Western Kenya, it's not Western region. It's all the way to Nyanza, Mr. Speaker, and also some parts of Rift Valley. Mr. Speaker, to address the vice, the following measures have been implemented at public gatherings to prevent violence and ensure public safety. In addition to uniformed officers, undercover teams are discreetly stationed within crowds to gather intelligence, monitor activities, and identify individuals inciting unrest. Well, we may be doing this, Mr. Speaker, but there is not enough police officers in this country to be monitoring every public function, every funeral, every church arambe, every public function that happens. So it's important that we deal with the key perpetrators so that we can, Mr. Speaker, stem this rise of criminal activities during public functions. Strict legal action, investigations to suspects, including politicians accused of inciting violence, are at advanced stage. Appropriate legal action will be taken against individuals found guilty of orchestrating such incidents. Public awareness and preventive measures. The government is working with community leaders, political parties, and law enforcement agencies to promote peaceful coexistence and de-escalate tensions at public events. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the government remains committed to ensuring that the safety of all citizens and holding perpetrators of violence are accountable. We continue to work closely with law enforcement agencies, intelligence units, and community stakeholders to mitigate politically instigated violence and uphold the rule of law. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Boni, do you have any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mrs. Cut out for him. As a former colleague in this House, I believe the minister wants to succeed, and we're going to support him. But, Mr. Speaker, these instances took place, Minister, as far back as 2023, and you're telling us you're still investigating a case where the financer hires school buses, recruits goons, they are carried in these school buses to a function, the goons start the violence, videos are taken, they are arrested, and the financer secures their release. For your information, Mr. Speaker, the financer is the governor of Kakamega. Why is the government shielding a criminal who is promoting this violence?
Honorable CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I made it very clear, is that, Mr. Speaker, in some instances, why nothing has happened from 2023, the victims are running away from the case. A member of parliament, for example, like Honorable Salasia, is refusing. And it's not because he doesn't know the law. He is running away from coming to record a statement. So the DCI cannot again arrest the victim so that they can cooperate, so that we can investigate the people. So, Mr. Speaker, there are challenges here. Sometimes, Mr. Speaker, political leaders think that they are weak if they pursue a case to its conclusion, because they think that if they go to a dock and or a witness stand, Mr. Speaker, and they are now narrating how they were beaten, they think that their constituents will consider them a weak person. So sometimes they drop these cases. And so, Mr. Speaker, there's very little we can do. However, I agree with Honorable Boli Kalwale that our work is cut out. And it's unfortunate that leaders who we expect to assist us to de-escalate acts of violence are the ones who are organizing, Mr. Speaker, their goons and the so-called bouncers, Mr. Speaker, to public functions, making it very difficult. When we were in the Jukwaa Usalama in Kakamega, the county security team are saying they dread when they hear that there is a high-profile funeral by maybe a senior person like the chief, that happened in the former chief that happened in Matungu, because they know that that weekend will be very difficult in terms of deploying so many officers to one function. So, Mr. Speaker, we agreed that it is important for us leaders to escalate this behavior. How here to before this House that Honorable Governor Barasa was involved in any way. Mr. Speaker, as the DCI said that the investigations are still ongoing, we'll stand with that. And Mr. Speaker, you know, you must take it, you must take, when Honorable Boni Kalwale mentions the name of his own governor, you must take it with a pinch of salt, Mr. Speaker, because just like his governor, Honorable Boni Kalwale is also fighting to be a governor in Kakamega. So we take his statement with a pinch of salt. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fomeru, you may proceed to ask question number 072.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I ask Amir to ask question number 072 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration. Mr. Speaker, number A is why are there recurring and escalating incidents of banditry and cattle rustling in Igembe North, Igembe Central, Tigania East, Tigania West, and Ibore constituencies in Meru County, despite the government's repeated assurances of enhanced intervention efforts? Number B, what progress has the government made in recovering stolen cattle, and could the Cabinet Secretary provide details of the nature and extent of support accorded to affected families to help reconstruct their destroyed homes and where stolen cattle have not been recovered to help restore their livelihoods? And C, could the government consider undertaking a security operation in the affected region similar to the multi-agency security operation, dubbed Operation Maliza Uhalifu, which was deployed in the North Rift region in 2023? And the last, D, could the government also consider establishing multidisciplinary security operating bases in the affected region to deter such criminal activities? Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable CS, you may proceed to respond. Now that your written response has been circulated to all honourable senators, you may wish to paraphrase in the interest of time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in September 2024, multi-agency security operations was launched in the region after several strategic meetings. This has led to more coordinated and targeted operations across the affected sub-counties. Hence, a significant decline in cases of banditry and cattle rustling in Meru North grazing zone. While notable progress has been achieved, some operational and logistical challenges persist, hence impeding the timely realization of intended security outcome. Mr. Speaker, rugged terrains and inaccessible hideouts. The region harsh topography and rugged terrain under certain hideouts and reachable by vehicles, providing bandits to secure sanctuaries beyond the reach of security forces, particularly Mukogodo Forest. And the Honourable Senator understands when I say this in the Laikipia East, in the Samburu East and Laikipia North areas. Dense vegetation and forest areas. Mr. Speaker, poor communication network coverage, late return of herders, and there is more detail there, so I'm just paraphrasing like you have directed, Mr. Speaker. Late return of herders from grazing field. Mr. Speaker, internal bandit coordination networks. Mr. Speaker, you will realize, and for the benefit of the Honourable Senator, that our investigations, in some of the instances that people have been apprehended, it is actually the case that there is no raid that happens in Meru without a Meru coordinator of the bandits. And that is what we established. Even with the fight between Pokots and Marakwets, no Pokot would come to Marakwet without the support of Marakwets, coordinating the Pokot bandits from the other side. So in the same way, in the Meru side, the bandits don't just come. They are being coordinated by people who are on the Meru side. and that becomes part of the challenge, and some of them have been arrested, Mr. Speaker, and dealt with. Complicity by herders through delayed reporting. This is another challenge which I want the Honorable Senator to know, that most of the herders in that part of the Meru, they are not, the owners of the livestock are not there. So they by the time they're reporting, they come and report, 2-3 days later about incidents, Mr. Speaker. Herding in isolation, again, there was an agreement that we need to herd in a particular organized group so that we can protect the people from that area. So those are some of the challenges that we face in this corner. On part 2, Mr. Speaker, a multi-agency team is executing Operation Maliza Walifu, which is a security initiative aimed at flashing out of bandits and dismantle criminal networks. The multi-agency security team have been able to conduct intensified patrols, surveillance, and quick reaction within the Meru Northern Grazing Zone, which have resulted in successful recovery of stolen livestock, as outlined below. The Speaker, I'll just mention a few incidents. Of 3rd August 2024, 41 heads of cattle were recovered. Mr. Speaker, on 14th August 2024, 40 heads of cattle were recovered. On 4th April 2025, 7 goats were recovered, and the areas are listed there. On 7th April 2025, this year, Mr. Speaker, 87 herds of cattle, 23 goats, and 6 donkeys, which had been stolen, were recovered. All of them, all the incidents that I've read, the recovery is 100%. On 13th of April 2025, bandits are raided a place in Amaya area in Mutwati and stole 120 herd of cattle, and they were all recovered. On 23rd of April 2025, Mr. Speaker, 23 herd of cattle were stolen at Ruanga, and 11 herd of cattle were recovered, and footprints, the rest were still being traced. 12 were still being sought. Mr. Speaker, whether the government will consider undertaking security operations, the government has launched coordinated multi-agency security operations, coded name Operation Furusha Wezi wa Mifugo, targeting Meru and Isiolo counties. The operation is specifically designed to combat banditry and livestock theft across northern grazing zones of Meru and the adjacent areas of Isiolo. Mr. Speaker, the multi-agency security team is comprised of 6 operational sector officers drawn from Kenya National Police Service, Administration Police Service, General Service Unit, Anti-Stock Theft Unit, Rapid Deployment Unit, Special Operations Groups, National Police Reserve, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau, among others. Mr. Speaker, whether the government could also consider establishing multidisciplinary security operation bases. Mr. Speaker, the government has established a fully operational security base hosting personnel, including the ones I listed above. As part of the ongoing strategic efforts, there are plans to realign existing security camps to key entry and exit routes of frequent use by bandits, such as across the Meru North grazing zones. The realignment is intended to enhance mobility, surveillance, and rapid response capability to criminal incidents. Additionally, there is a plan to recruit new NPR personnel from areas of Kiwanja, Epiding, and Mail Saba areas, which are identified as corridors of banditry activities, especially among areas where the Turkana community are living. It's an area that we would like to enhance the NPR. The deployment of 21 county rangers sponsored by the county government of Meru is also under consideration. These rangers will serve as fast response to livestock theft incidents, operating in coordination with multi-agency security team for rapid support. And these rangers, Mr. Speaker, are taking care of the conservancies. This proposal is currently under review by the County Security and Intelligence Committee for further deliberation and guidance. Further, there is a proposal to establish a multi-agency security operation base at Dumuru Police Station in Igembe North Sub-County. The station's strategic location along non-bandit transit routes linking Meru and Isiolo counties make it an ideal hub for coordinated operation and regional security mobilization. In addition, Mr. Speaker, let me just say that the problem is at the source, which is in Samburu County. and parts of Laikipia and parts of Isiolo. But Samburu East is our biggest challenge. And in the statement I made earlier as a summary, I indicated that infrastructure development is extremely important in opening up these very critical hideouts, Mr. Speaker, where these criminals hide in Samburu East and Laikipia North in Mukokodo Forest. That way, the National Security Council has directed that the Ministry of Roads, working with the Ministry of Interior, should set aside resources to open up this area so that it's accessible for security operations. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Meru, do you have any supplementary questions?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank the CS, but let me say that some statistics that he has given me are not satisfactory, Mr. Speaker, because this case of Meru, men and women acting as collaborators with the bandits, Honorable CS, it is not documented, and as far as I'm concerned, and my knowledge is maybe true, we have not received any report, comprehensive report, that the Merus are collaborating with the bandits. And if there are any cases, maybe if you could provide this house with that data so that also it can help us as a community, because it has not been documented, it has not been laced by the security. And also, Mr. Speaker, another issue is, you have said that there is late reporting of this theft of cattle and livestock. Mr. Speaker, you know, these guys rent our homesteads, not even out the grazing areas. There is nothing to steal from the grazing areas. They took all the cattle from the grazing areas, and now they are coming up to actually the markets, stealing goods in sheds from the homesteads. So, Mr. Speaker, there's not a matter of reporting, and the reporting is actually instant to the security forces. But, Mr. Speaker, we have that problem. But now that you are here, Honorable CS, can you kindly help us in the Bororiet East and West? That is where now all the criminals have moved to my reservoir and in Garendale Forest. So there's this, what the county government is trying to do, but if you could add more security officers, the police officers, in that belt, so that sometimes when these guys pass through the police posts, the police stations, because they are very few in the stations, they are scaries. They just keep quiet and watch bandits to maybe to talk to that community and also guide them on what they need to do, Honorable CS. Thank you.
Senator Dulo.
Guide them on what they need to do, Honorable CS. Thank you.
Senator Dulo.
Thank you, Chair, Mr. Speaker. Waziri, thank you very much for your presentation. I remember as a security committee, we were to visit Isiolo, Meru, Samburu, and Marsabit. Those are the areas that are really affected with the cattle rustling. My request to you, I know recently there are so many people who are killed in that area. There are hot spots in that area. Is it possible for the government to put security, more specifically in the areas that we really feel attack normally happens or criminals use as an area of raid? But it's important if we have a get together and see how we can iron out those issues, because it's really affecting those 4 counties. I thank you.
Senator Mofai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I happen to suffer from the same fate. Tharaka is one of the constituencies, especially the lower part of the Tharaka constituency. Honorable Speaker, we had made some requests from the Minister of Interior to have people recruited as KPR, maybe to reinforce the existing security apparatus. So could the Minister maybe guide this House or through these questions whether there is any arrangement, are there some intention maybe to recruit Kenya Police Service to enhance security and maybe reinforce the existing security systems in the place. Because Tharaka, we have similar situations where bandits strike, they use the Meru National Park as a
you
corridor.
have asked your question. Allow the CS to respond. Senator Lelegwe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, time and again, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior or the Ministry of Interior have always reported to this House and in public that part of the reasons why they are not recovering livestock or why they are not keeping security in the security-prone areas is because of terrain. I remember as leadership of the affected region, we've met the minister several times, even during the last financial year, and with the promise that they will be able to set aside resources to try and make sure that this terrain, or they solve these challenges they're reporting as terrain challenges. My question is whether, and of course, again, Mr. Speaker, even in the public barasas they've had across the North Rift or across the affected regions, this issue has been raised by residents that part of the reasons why bandits or we are not having security in those regions is because of terrain. So I don't know, because again I've heard from the minister again today that they are working in collaboration with the Ministry of Roads. I'm not sure whether these resources are available, because it's during the last financial year that the Cabinet Secretary promised that they will set aside resources to try and solve the terrain challenges in the North Rift region. Thank you.
Proceed to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, let me say that I agree with the Meru Senator, the Honorable Deputy Speaker, that the question of challenges around Ngare Forest, among other areas, Buri now, where we have many challenges and the hotspots. Mr. Speaker, when we say that people are not reporting, we are not saying in all the incidences. I gave it as a raft of reasons, a number of reasons why sometimes these challenges persist is because it is not in all the incidents, but we have clearly incidences that people report stolen livestock 2-3 days later. And even in public barasas, previously, even before I came to office, this issue was properly discussed, and the communities agreed that they needed to graze together, but also they need to make sure that they have somebody's taking care of the livestock. The thing is that, Mr. Speaker, before banditry, these livestock didn't need to be taken care of because to have somebody taking care of them the entire day. You take them to grazing field and pick them in the evening. But now with banditry, the challenges persist. Mr. Speaker, on the question as to whether there is collaborators from the Meru side, of course there are. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Marakwet side. And when I was sitting where the Deputy Speaker was sitting, when I was told by security people that there are Marakwets who are assisting Pokots to steal livestock of Marakwets, I would deny the way the Senator would deny. But with the information I have now, Mr. Speaker, I know that there were many Marakwets who were assisting the bandits from Pokot to steal livestock. And as soon as we decided as a security sector and asked the community to deal with bandits as bandits, we have had greater collaboration from both sides of the communities, and we realized that even recently when most of the Marakwets bandits surrendered, because they're the first ones to surrender, they were able to call their friends on the other side. They helped us to call their friends and tell them now it's time to surrender. There is no more network of intelligence. Bandits also have their own networks of intelligence. So I want to encourage the Senator, please don't defend them. Some of them we have dealt with them already. Some we are continuing monitoring them. They get even paid, because once the livestock has been stolen, they send via M-Pesa money back to their collaborators from the community where they are assisting them. So, and this is not confined to Meru. You just need to know that banditry is an organized crime. It has collaborators on both sides. It has police officers who assist. We have even established that even some security officers sell bullets. There are business people who buy their cows at a throwaway price. They are, so it's not something to be defended. It's something to be dealt with. And our plan, Mr. Speaker, is to do something akin to what has already happened at the border of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, and West Pokot, a targeted security operation in this particular area. And you will establish, once that happens, you will realize that even the people who are saying livestock is being stolen from us, they will cry louder, because they will quickly realize that a number of criminals are in their midst, just the same way we did it in the other parts of North Rift. And that is ongoing. The Security Council has given directive that some resources be sought, which we are working with the Treasury to see some resources so that we can have a more targeted operation in that particular area. I am very confident, Mr. Speaker, if anything is to go by, if I have to go by what we did within the border of Marakwet, West Pokot, and Baringo, that with greater targeted security operations, we will have more guns. We have reached 600 guns in that pretty small area. In this Meru, Isiolo, and Samburu area, I have a lot of confidence. Again, when we did the resource requirement, like Senator Lelegwe has raised, and which is required to open up these Samburu areas, it's massive, Mr. Speaker. It's really, really massive. And there has to be a Marshall Plan. Banditry will not be sorted by just merely talking about looking for the guns and arresting people. The development is a key issue, whether it is road will start, and there are about 6 or 7 key roads in that belt, Mr. Speaker, that when we get the resources, and it's massive resources that are required, we need about 3 to 4 billion to just open up roads without even tarmacking them. And Mr. Speaker, that is the challenge. It is budgetary allocation, and you saw in my summary that we are working on it. And I'm happy that we are, at least I have suggested that let's do one road to Mokogodo Forest, for example, and that will sort out one of the problems. Do another one to Malaso, and then to Baragoi, and then we do something in Tiati constituency between areas of Silale, and then we'll have made some great progress in this area. And that's something that the President is on it to get us the relevant resources through consultation between ministries. A few months ago, and the Deputy Inspector General was also a few months ago, so I will also visit that particular area. Increase of NPR, I agree with Senator Mofire on NPR. We will do definitely go and sit down and work on it. In the Jukwaa Usalama, the discussion was that NPR are good, but they are part of the problem. In parts of Turkana and West Pokot now, where there is a problem in Kainuk, we have established that some of the NPR are collaborating with their own communities and criminals from their communities to perpetuate these crimes. That was the case also in Marakwet side and Pokot side. So the policy proposal was to reorganize NPR to make sure that the command structure is very clear, that the OCS is in charge of all the NPRs, so that their deployment and they have a sight of where they are and what they do. And that is really what has helped in some parts of the country, including in Marsabit and other places. So in your area, in this area of Meru, sometimes you give the NPR, but because they are not working closely with the police, then we lose a number of NPR the way we've lost in the last few months in that area. So that is being done with the Inspector General of Police and the National Police Service. 2 weeks we will launch that Jukwaa Usalama report, and it will have the policy already completed with the clarity on how that command structure will be. And then there are about 1 million, across the country. So they're about 700,000. So it is something that, I've exaggerated, 7,000, not 700,000, 7,000 NPRs across the country. So it's an issue that we must deal with accordingly. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I think KPR, forest, resources and so forth, I think I've responded to majorly most of the questions that have been raised. Sorry?
We will now... Honorable CS, it's okay. We will now move to question number 044. What clarification are you seeking?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, it's not clear from the Minister This insecurity is promoted by politicians. We know of a politician in Baringo, a politician in West Pokot. In fact, his helicopter lifted cattle rustlers when they had been arraigned in court in Kitale. So it's not enough for him just to say, pinch of salt because we are competing. What are you doing about them? And if you want, allow me to state the names of the MPs from West Pokot and Baringo. Our people are being killed by these politicians in the name of cattle rustling.
What is your question, Honorable?
The question is, what is he doing about politicians who are promoting this insecurity? One from Baringo, another one from West Pokot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, banditry is not confined to Pokot community or West Pokot and Baringo or members of parliament who are from Pokot. Mr. Speaker, it's a problem everywhere, everywhere. There are collaborators in Isiolo, in Samburu, in Laikipia, or any leaders from one community is wrong. Number two, Mr. Speaker, and you will get to know this when, as soon as you engage in security issues, you realize that, Mr. Speaker, sometimes the MP has come to defend certain people, even pick them, even pay for them fines. But, Mr. Speaker, you may never find the MP directly, buying the bullets or inciting and so forth. So what does the security team do? They go for the people who have done it. To buy bullets. You go for the Mr. X who has bought bullets and deal with that one. If it has used to so and so to do criminal activities, you go for them. The Speaker, politicians also have, because I've sat in this house, sometimes mistakenly they think they're defending their community. They find themselves they're defending criminals. So if the police officers try following elected leaders for the sake of it, without going specifically where the evidence is, you end up, Mr. Speaker, politicizing the process. Our concern is that go for the evidence and go for the perpetrator, regardless of their position. The other thing we say is that politicians are not only the ones who are elected. It also includes those who are aspiring to be elected. It also includes those who are just political opinion leaders in particular areas. And this has been dealt with across the communities. So while I agree with Senator Boni Kalwale that sometimes that there are cases where political leaders are involved in inciting communities or financing and supporting banditry, it is not true that it's confined to one community, and it's not true that we deal with it from a political perspective. We deal with it from evidence leading to the suspect. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Nairobi City County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is, the first one is question number 44. Unfortunately, Speaker, you will note that this question is from 4th of March 2025. And the reason why it's being brought to the floor 9 months later is that we have been unable to secure the attendance of the CS. No wonder he has 21 questions to respond to. But I'll proceed, Honorable CS, Honorable Speaker. Could the Cabinet Secretary state why police officers traveling across the country to Nairobi County for the National Police Service Promotion Board interviews are never facilitated with transport and accommodation, despite the interviews being part of the official duties? Secondly, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the reasons for the delay in the release of the results of the National Police Service Promotion Board interviews conducted in Nairobi between the 10th and 14th of February 2025? And lastly, was ethnic balance and the length of service considered during the promotion interviews held in February of 2025? And could the CS state all the measures taken to ensure fairness in the process? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know, I agree with the Senator Sifuna that we have been unable to answer these questions, but it was not by desire. The last time I appeared before this House to answer the questions, there was a matter of great concern at that particular time, and we spent the whole day here in this same chamber. Then we could not go to these questions. The second time, Mr. Speaker, there was some security unfortunate incidences that happened, and then recess and so forth. So it was not because of not my liking to come here. I really like coming here. Just that sometimes this is like Job's headquarters, Mr. Speaker. You are sitting in the office and then something happens. Mr. Speaker, on question 1, let me not read the questions again so that to save time. Promotion board interviews are considered official duty, and as such, officers attending these interviews are entitled to per diem allowances and transport facilitation. These are to be provided through their immediate supervisors, who are the designated holders of authority to incur expenditure, otherwise famously known as AIE in short. However, the disbursement of AIEs to field commander station of transport. As a result, many officers have been compelled to make personal transport arrangements to attend these important career advancement opportunities. To address these persistent challenges, the Ministry is actively engaging with the National Treasury to streamline and prioritize the disbursement of exchequer to ensure that all operational and welfare-related financial obligations are met in a timely and predictable manner. Additionally, the Ministry is collaborating with the National Police Service leadership in collaboration with National Police leadership has initiated a fleet improvement plan aimed at progressively equipping stations and posts with functional transport assets. These reforms are aligned with the recommendations of the 2023-2024 Police Reforms and Prisons Service Reform Task Force, which called for enhanced logistical support, decentralization of operational resources, and a robust welfare framework for all the officers. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, everywhere I went through Jukwaa la Usalama, AIE is a matter of concern. Resource disbursement to the various police stations so that they can have money to facilitate the officers when they come for this is a matter of great concern. However, in addition to what I have said, the officer will claim this transport in the fullness of time because they are entitled to. And as long as the resources are availed, they will be paid in due course. Reasons for the delay in release of results of the National Police Service Board interviews conducted in Nairobi between 10th and 14th November 2025. Mr. Speaker, the promotion process within the National Police Service begins with the identification and allocation of vacancies across various ranks of the National Police at the National Police Headquarters. Following this, the Inspector General instructs this respective service to convene promotion boards and submit list of successful candidates. The interviews process is structured into 5 progressive levels designed to ensure transparency, fairness, and distribution of opportunities down to the lowest police units. At the conclusion of each level, candidates are interviewed and ranked. Those who attain the highest scores are notified to proceed to the next level, while others are encouraged to reapply in future exercise. Only the final list of successful candidates who are not required to undergo further interviews is submitted to the Inspector General based on merit and performance. This multi-tiered process may result in perceived delays, but it's necessary to uphold meritocracy and fairness in full compliance with Chapter 34 of the National Police Service Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry wishes to assure the House that the promotion interviews held on February 2025 were concluded on strict compliance with the policies and guidelines outlined in the Chapter 34 of the National Police Service Standing Orders. The process incorporated key selection criteria, including ethnic and regional balance, affirmative action, individual performance, and appraisal records, length of service, successful completion of police law examination, and promotion courses, and the maintenance of a clean and satisfactory disciplinary record. These measures were implemented to ensure inclusivity, meritocracy, and fairness in the allocation of the available promotion slots. Honorable Speaker, the welfare, morale, and career progression of officers remain a priority in the Ministry of Interior and National Administration. We shall continue to take necessary steps to ensure the promotion process are not only fair and inclusive, but also timely and well supported. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Sifuna, do you have any supplementary question?
Yes, Speaker, you realize that the response that the CS is reading is from April.
Yes.
April of 2025. We are now in November. My expectation would be that you would give us an updated status, the current status. For instance, Honorable Speaker, you tell us, CS, have the reimbursements now been paid to the officers who attended interviews in February using their own resources, number one? Has the report on those interviews now been released? I mean, Speaker, this is how many months down the line? From April to now is almost 7 months. That is the expectation we have today. He cannot just read what he sent us in April. So let him tell us, are the results of the interviews out? Have the officers been reimbursed for the expenses they incurred in this? Are there any pending payments? And lastly, Honorable Speaker, on ethnic composition, it would be very nice if the CS gave this House a breakdown of the ethnic makeup of the upper echelons of the police force. I thank you.
CS, maybe you can give that clarification.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. For the promotion, it was done, and the officers are already in the for the lower ranks of police officers like corporals, and sergeants. They completed the training, so they have already been promoted. You see, all of them go to promotional courses. At the higher ranks, they are still in various training centers. They are going through their training. It is important for the senator, which I think we did not provide in the statement, to know that it was not everywhere that AIEs were not facilitated. It was based on the budget of every different police station. So it was not general to every place. And I would require to engage the National Police Service again to confirm if after they have left their training course, as they go to their promotion stations, as they get also higher salary, whether it is accompanied by their transport allowance. On the question of composition of police officers senior ranks, that should be a straightforward question. It's also available in public domain, but I should be able to share maybe from commissioners to go up, who are people occupying these positions across the country. That is a public knowledge, but we can submit it as a supplementary statement later, Mr. Speaker. I thank you.
Because of time, Honorable Senators, I think if we go by this list on my board here, it will take a lot of time. So maybe I'm very much constrained to ask Senator Sifuna to ask a second question. Unless if it is on the promotion, the interviews, specifically. Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My supplementary question to the CS is it true that the officers who have been promoted 2 ranks within 6 months on merit, is it also true that there are ranks beyond which an officer should not be promoted on merit, and they have been promoted on merit?
Second one. I missed the second.
Sorry, repeat.
My question is, Honorable Speaker, to the CS is it true that there are officers within the ranks who have been promoted on merit twice within 6 months, and also whether senior officers have been promoted on merit on ranks ordinarily you cannot be promoted on merit? Thank you.
Just a minute, CS, let's get 2 more. Senator Gataya Mufoya.
One would be just let us know whether there is any promotion policy in the National Police Service. Most Honorable Speaker, you find that somebody has just joined the police force. Tomorrow he is an inspector. Somebody has been maintaining there for the last 10 years, has not been promoted. So do you have any policy to guide on the promotion to police officers? There are quite a number of discontents within the force. That maybe there's some people who are clinging on corruption and political brokers here and there to get promotions.
You have asked your question, and also, I said you should also know that you are a former police officer. Yeah, maybe did not get the promotion then. So answer those 2 questions, then we make progress, kindly.
Am I in order, Mr. Speaker, to request Senator Mofire to disclose the rank which he retired and how he ended up being there? Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, that's on a light note. That's on a light note. Mr. Speaker, on the promotion, I agree first with Senator Mofire. Before I answer Senator Mandago's question, during the Jukwaa la Usalama, these issues were raised by police officers directly, you know, OCSs and the officers that we were in the forum together. And there was a concern that some people, it takes 30 years and they've never been promoted. Others, as you've said, takes 6, 7 years, they are promoted. And so the police service requires a promotion policy. And the conclusion of the Jukwaa la Usalama report is that they need to be clarity on promotion policy, that people know if they attain certain number of years and they do not have in their file any criminal record or whatever bad record, and they are diligent in their work, then there should be motivation by ensuring that there's clarity on exactly how do you get promoted. The other issue that Senator Mandago has raised came up also during the discussion, that is, can you allow people at certain ranks to be promoted without going to do the training? What has happened is that, and mostly affects your bodyguards and a number of other places, is that sometimes you come and lobby and say, I've stayed with this bodyguard for many years, which is right, because you are making a case for the person who's working with you. And then you say, let's promote them. Then when we tell you, we are promoting, but they go for training, you say, can they get by merit? So one day, you are no longer a senator or a governor or an MP. Then they have a rank of at a level of inspector or chief inspector. They are supposed to go and run a police station, but they have no experience on anything. They have not been trained on anything on how to run a police station. So they cannot even be an officer commanding any station, because they have just been helping you and supporting you as a government officer. So again, the decision, the report indicated that there should be a rank within which a person cannot be promoted without going to training. And starting with the members, the ones who are promoted recently, a good number of them were even those promoted in merit, because merit is allowed. You know, even those promoted in merit were told, yes, you are promoted in merit, but you must go for training, because now you are progressing to a certain rank. But in terms of what Senator Mofire raised, a policy must be in place, either be infused in the standing orders or a standalone policy on promotions and transfers, like I mentioned in my opening statement. I am not aware of specific cases, as Senator Mandago raised, where someone has been promoted in 6 months beyond 2 ranks. I am not very much aware about that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let's go to the next question, Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The next question is from friends of mine in Kibra, the Nubian community, and across the country. Could the Cabinet Secretary confirm whether there are any plans to issue a citizenship code recognizing the Nubian community as a Kenyan ethnic community, and indicate the expected timelines for such issuance? And secondly, why do members of the Nubian community continue to face barriers in acquiring national identification documents, and what measures is the ministry taking to bring an end to this discrimination? Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary outline the measures the government is taking to expedite reparations to the Nubian community for historical land injustices occasioned by that lack of recognition? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Waziri.
Mr. Speaker, the government, through the Directorate of National Registration Bureau, assigns unique ethnic identification codes to Kenyan communities. These codes enable individuals to declare their ethnicity when registered for national identity documents as required under Section 5(1)(d) of the Registration of Persons Act. The recognition and coding of ethnic communities is a continuous and progressive process. At the inception of the manual first-generation national identity card system in 1978, individuals declared their ethnicity on registration forms. This information was recorded in the manual register but did not appear on the physical ID card. In 1995, with the introduction of the second generation ID and the automated Kenya identity management system, it became necessary to create specific ethnic codes to capture the ethnic data electronically. Each ethnic community was assigned a unique code, while a generic code, other Kenyans, was provided for individuals whose communities were not yet listed among ethnic groups in the system. The Nubian community was initially registered the lack of communal code. Over time, the ministry has progressively reviewed and updated ethnic codes for additional communities, including sub-tribes that have asserted distinct ethnic identities separate from larger linguistic or cultural groups. As part of this ongoing progress, the Nubian community was officially assigned a distinct ethnic code, code number 50 in 2022, thereby recognized them as a Kenyan ethnic community within the national registration framework. On part 2, Mr. Speaker, I am not aware of that member of Nubian community. I am not aware that members of Nubian community continue to face barriers in acquiring national identification documents. Indeed, His Excellency the President on 5th of February 2025 directed the discontinuation of additional vetting requirements that had been applied during the registration and issuance of national identity documents to certain communities and individuals residing in specific regions of the country. The Nubian community was among the groups positively affected by this directive. Prior to this presidential directive, members of the Nubian community were subjected to a special vetting process that had been developed in consultation between the ministry and the Nubian community elders. This vetting mechanism required attestation of ID applicants by Nubian elders. The purpose of this arrangement was to help distinguish between Kenyan Nubians whose forebearers settled in the country before independence and migrant Nubians who continue to migrate to Kenya. Following the directive of His Excellency the President, this community-based vetting process was officially discontinued, and the Nubian community is now fully integrated into the standard national registration framework. Currently, the registration and issuance of national identification documents across the country, including the members of Nubian community, is conducted under the new uniform mechanism launched by the President to streamline and standardize the process nationwide. Under this mechanism, the identity of an applicant is authenticated by the present or guardian biological relatives through the embossing of the left thumbprint on the registration form. This is further validated by the thumbprint of the chief or assistant chief, ensuring local administration oversight. This standardized procedure applies uniformly in the registration, thereby ensuring equality, fairness, and the elimination of any form of discrimination in access to national identification documents. Honorable Speaker, members of the Nubian community have been registered and issued with national identification documents since the introduction of the first generation ID in 1978. While it is true that the Nubian community was initially categorized under the generic ethnic code Other Kenyans, Code 81, this did not in any way prevent members of the community from acquiring identification documents. Furthermore, the subsequent assignment of Code number 50 has reaffirmed their status as a duly recognized Kenyan ethnic community. With regard to the vetting process that was previously applied to members of the Nubian community, it is important to clarify that the vetting was not unique to the Nubian community. It was also applied to residents of all border counties and to communities living both in Kenya and in across the country's porous international borders. The purpose of this process was not to discriminate. Rather, it was an identity verification mechanism designed to ensure that national identification documents were issued exclusively to bona fide Kenyan citizens. It is with the sovereign responsibility of any state to institute appropriate measures to differentiate its citizens from non-citizens, particularly with regard to cross-border movement and settlement patterns. Given these facts, it could therefore not be accurate to claim that members of the Nubian community have been denied recognition as Kenyan citizens. The government has taken deliberate measures, including the abolition of the extra vetting requirements and the standardization of national registration process to ensure that all citizens, including the Nubian community, enjoy equal treatment and access to identification and citizenship services. Mr. Speaker, the government remains fully committed to promoting inclusion, equity, and fairness for all communities in Kenya. Through ongoing reforms in national registration and identity management process, the ministry continues to work collaboratively with relevant agencies to address and prevent any form of perceived historical marginalization. I thank you.
In Nairobi. Yes, they're in Nairobi, most of them are in Nairobi. So, if the CS isn't given the response, I want the senator to raise the question, at least to be affirming to us that whether he's satisfied or she's satisfied, whether he has a supplementary question, so that we avoid the repeat, the way the CS is reading the whole response from A to Z. So, Senator Sifuna, let me hear from you whether you are satisfied with the response or you have a supplementary question.
Speaker, I read this response and I was not satisfied, but I started first by correcting you that the Nubian community is spread all across the country. And in fact, part of the question was the discrimination in identity cards issuance. We were told that vetting had been removed, but in Kisii County, the reports are that they are still going through that vetting. Now, Speaker, the communication that I received from the CS is unsatisfactory for the following reasons. First of all, Honorable Speaker, it is not clear whether there is a formal recognition through something like a gazette notice or a communication. You see the response that he has given has no annexures at all. In 2016, when we were recognizing the Makonde community, Honorable Speaker, there was a full ceremony. There was a full ceremony. So what the Nubian community is saying, if you have issued a code, you have done it silently, do we have any document? Is it going to be gazetted? Is there going to be a formal ceremony? Does the issuance of a code now recognize them as the 50th community in Kenya? Those are the reasons why we are saying, Honorable Speaker, this is not a satisfactory response. Let him add those specific details. And lastly, on the question of land, there was a court ruling in 2015 that required the restitution of the remaining 3,000 acres of land or appropriate reparations to the community to be done. The CS has not addressed himself to that question of land restitution. So let him provide those two clarifications. Will we see a gazette notice? Will there be a formal response? Is there any formal document saying that they have now been recognized, or is just the word of mouth of the CS constitute them as the 50th community in the country? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Any other member with a supplementary questions on this particular one? Senator Manzo.
Mr. Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary indicate, the order followed to recognize communities, Mr. Speaker, because it's been happening once in a while after a community has come out strongly fighting. Could he explain whether they have a program so that we could know, other than the Nubian community, which other community is likely to be gazetted as a community? Because you have still unrecognized communities in Kenya. And how many are they in total? Those ones which have been recognized and those are yet to be recognized. Because it's been happening slowly by slowly, Mr. Speaker, from the Shona community, different communities. Once in a while, they get recognized, the ones settled in Kenya, Mr. Speaker.
Do you know one that has not been recognized? We start from there. Which one?
Mr. Speaker, what happens is that we have quite a number from Makonde. Yes, I want to be informed, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mohamed Faki.
Ni kweli masuala ya makabila kutambuliwa ni jambo ambalo liko hadhir, na kule kwetu pwani kuna kabila ya Wangazija, ambao Wangazija originally they are from the Comoros, but they have settled here for many years. And I brought a statement in the course of this year. I don't know whether Senator Chute had worked on that. But Wangazija, Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni baadhi ya makabila ambayo hayajatambuliwa katika
Senator, in fact, you cannot be changing languages the way you want, you know. You just stick to one language.
Samahani Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Swahili, please stick to
Samahani Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni kwamba Wangazija, kabila la Wangazija ni katika makabila ya Waswahili. Ni moja ya yale ambayo hayajatambuliwa katika jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Na majuzi nileta taarifa hapa katika bunge letu, na nafikiri kamati ya uwiano na Umoja wa Taifa inashughulikia swala hilo. Asante.
Senator Mboni.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I was the one on the floor. Mr. Speaker, that's a tribe I was forgetting, but I'm aware there are quite a number. I'm sure Honorable Murkomen knows.
And got the question, he has the question.
Yes, so that he can tell us how many more from Wangazija, now how many more?
Senator Mboni.
Mr. Speaker, we must collectively congratulate the government for the decision to make it easier for the Somali community and other border communities to move away from being discriminated. But Mr. Speaker, this is the time. The minister must now tell the country, what security layer have you put there to ensure that potential terrorists who have used these borders before and visited a lot of violence to Kenya do not abuse this directive?
Answer those three questions, clarifications or supplementary questions, then we make progress.
I think, Mr. Speaker, and I want Senator Sifuna to listen to this. Because I'm responding to this question.
The CS is
I think Senator Sifuna
attention.
is confusing recognition in terms of as a standalone community with citizenship. The reason why ceremonies were done for the Shonas, the Pemba, the Makondes is because they were gaining citizenship. The Nubians were not gaining citizenship. They were being recognized as a standalone tribe in Kenya. And that has happened so many communities, and it's ongoing. Like even now, I have an application in my office from the Mara community, from Tarakanidi. They want to be recognized as standalone from the Nidis, that they want to be recognized independently, and so forth. And it goes through a process of vetting, consultation, public participation, and so forth. For the Nubians, as I read in the statement, they were already Kenyans, and